Welcome back to AM Northwest. It is a big source of anxiety for kids. Here to help parents guide their children into a healthy relationship with social media, we welcome back parenting expert Yishai Busi. Good to have you with us again. Yeah. This is a hot topic all the time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just one. So let's talk about how you say when it comes to social media, we can help kids maximize the good and minimize the bad.
Yeah, so social media comes with a wide array of options and ways to use it. The reality is teens benefit from social media. Mm-hmm. Another reality is that teens struggle with social media. Yeah. These are both true. So the downfall is usually what we focus on, because particularly as a parent, we tend to be concerned.
Right.
The negatives, there's bullying and drama online, a lot of comparing our insides to their outsides.
Right.
There's that's happening. Distraction. So we know about the negatives. Those are real. Those are real considerations. There's positives as well. There's connecting with friends and family. That's really important. That's really valuable.
Right.
There's learning, getting news and information online, connecting with people with similar interests. Those are also really valid. Social media is part of the fabric of our culture.
Right.
It's what it is. So we have to help, acknowledge to kids that we get it's not all bad. It's not all doomsday for them. Most of it's actually pretty boring and mundane.
Yeah.
But then maximize those positive things, help them get more of that, minimize some of the negative aspects of it.
So you say to talk with them about how they feel when they're online.
Right. So a lot of the focus in the past has been, okay, how much can I limit social media? Okay, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, how much is too much or not enough? And we need to, or what are they doing? We know what they're doing. Instagram, Snapchat are the two main ones, and then there's like Discord and TikTok and some other ones, Twitter. They're on Facebook so they can get in touch with grandparents.
Right.
So, but we know what they're on, and we don't always know what they're doing. So we want to get them to think about, instead of what you're doing, how do you feel when you're online? How do you feel when your friends are together and you're not with them? What is that like for you?
Yeah.
What is that like do you ever feel insecure about how you look when you look at other people's pictures and photos and posts? We want to get kids thinking about how does it feel, not just what they're doing. We want them to reflect on, do you ever feel pressure to like something that you don't really want to like because you feel like you need to in order to be friends with that person?
Don't you think parents really have to know all the different types of venues that their kids are on? Like you mentioned TikTok, and I just heard about TikTok, so that's how old I am. But so you really need to keep yourself educated on what like for instance, what does TikTok do, and what do the kids do on it, and so that you know what's going on. You have to keep yourself in a loop and educated, right?
Absolutely, yeah, more than ever. And I'm not a cool tech person.
Right.
CommonSenseMedia.org is a great website to keep updated. I'll look at videos. Like somebody mentioned TikTok to me and I was like, what's this?
Right.
So I'll ask clients that I see, teenagers that I see, about that, but then I'll go online and like watch their little 5-minute video about what it is.
What it is. Okay.
We need to stay informed.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
And then you say as they get older to respect their privacy with exception.
Yeah, so as teenagers kind of go into those teen years, their social media is their space for them to develop their identities, to create their sense of self, to experiment, to explore. We need to let them do that. It's what the mall used to be, and hanging out, where, and they need to feel like some autonomy to do that without us feeling like we're looking over their shoulder. So, but if we have concerns about their safety, like real ones, then all bets are off. Our number one job is to keep them safe. But they do need to feel like we're respecting their privacy.
Okay, let me ask, what if you believe that your child is naive to the ways of predators? Don't you think you should then be looking to make sure that there aren't any predators talking to them online, or?
So I think it's different if you're talking preteens. If we're talking 11, 12, 13, middle school, I think we have the right to say, hey, you can have a phone, but I want your passwords and I reserve the right to look at your posts. And we need to educate them young, if possible, about what's safe, what's not safe. How would you respond if somebody you didn't know wanted to friend you? What would you do? If we can start early and get them thinking about these things before we just say, here you go, here's all these apps, here's your phone, I'll see if there's any problems.
Right.
then I'm going to swoop in.
But you think as they get older, to give them a little more privacy?
I think we have to. We don't really have a choice. So the best thing we can do is to have relationships with them so they can come to us and say, hey, I'm not sure what to do here. I have a dilemma.
Wow, okay. You say their judgment and maturity offline are good indicators of their capacity to manage.
So one of the most common questions parents will have, and we have this one too, we're having this conversation in our house, is when should I give my kid a phone?
Yeah.
When should I let them have Instagram and Snapchat, for example? Well, they do have ages on those apps, but maturity is going to be really important to consider. And so how you look at that is how their offline world is likely to mirror their online world. So what that means is kids who are doing well offline in the real world, responsibility at home and at school and positive friend relationships, they're likely to handle social media responsibly as well. Kids who are struggling offline, who are easily distracted, who maybe make impulsive decisions and are getting in trouble, they're likely to make impulsive decisions online as well. A kid who is socially isolated, who is has some social anxiety, get them a phone and they're likely to have another opportunity to avoid social interactions and tune out on their phone.
Right. You also say it's very important to set clear boundaries that you model as well.
We got to call ourselves to task here as parents. And as a parent, I have an 11-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. None of us model great all the time. We all have our moments and we got to check ourselves. So the clear boundaries are, I think there need to be, bedtimes. The number one problem for teens is they don't get enough sleep.
Right.
And that affects everything else.
Do you collect their phones before they go to bed?
So our kids don't have a full-on cell phone yet.
Okay.
So our daughter has music, and that's about it on her phone, and audiobooks. So we're not kind of at that place yet where we're having to do that. But absolutely. When we have that conversation, she's like, oh, I want these apps, and phone has to be out of their room an hour before bedtime for practical reasons. The melatonin, the blue light, the notifications distract them. And then things like dinner time, meal times, phones away. Not face down on the table, out of the room. And we need to model that as parents.
Yeah.
That's a big part. I know.
Right.